there's this incredible amount of new gun owners that has, been pretty much part of the conversation with this issue over the last few years, and they aren't all white adult males helping to grow the gun-owning group. In fact, the largest rise out there is amongst females. Is that true? Yeah, it's actually true. Those who are shooting for sport, 51% rise. 20% of the sales of shooting and hunting supplies in the latest year recorded were to women. Yeah, it's growing. Why is it growing out there? And what is the push for females to get more involved with owning a firearm, either for protection, for sport, for both? Emily Taylor has joined us before, gun law expert, attorney with Texas Law Shield. She's here. Good morning, Emily.
Good morning.
I'm guessing that you own too.
Oh, well, more.
Yeah,
I'm a Texas girl.
Yeah, buku. So we don't have to go into that. That's a given. But this trend is definitely a trend. It's more than a trend. I mean, it's kind of locked in right now. Why is that in your mind? And what has been the push behind it?
Well, I think there are several things behind it. One of which being, we are all, I think, very attuned now to how dangerous our world is. And I think that, women understand that they are potential victims in a way that men are not. I was a criminal prosecutor in Texas, and I can tell you with utter certainty that there is no code of honor amongst criminals that says, I shouldn't attack this woman or I shouldn't attack this elderly person
right.
or disabled person. It's quite the opposite. They look for the best, easiest victim, and oftentimes that's a woman simply because of her size, stature, relative strength. And so we see that quite a bit, and I think that women have chosen to level the playing field by carrying handguns for self-defense. And I think that's a big push behind this increase.
Emily, one of the things I've noticed, this is just my opinion now, I have nothing to back it up, and so feel free to swat me down, but I think that women that I have encountered anecdotally do a better job of becoming educated on firearms and taking training more seriously than a lot of guys who either assume knowledge or assume they have knowledge when maybe they don't. Is that accurate or inaccurate?
It's funny you say that. My sporting clays instructor told me the same thing last weekend. He said, women just listen better during these lessons.
I think it's true.
But I think that you're right, and I think that that's just a product of this being a historically male field and arena. And, that is something that is somewhat intimidating, and I think that, women come in feeling sort of like the odd man out, and it does create an atmosphere where they are more interested in sort of soaking up all of the information. I think one of the pushes by the women's groups and the ranges that do these ladies' nights and these instructional tactical nights really helps with that, and I think that helps to increase the interest because there is quite a bit of interest in learning about it.
Does the other side make a mistake here when they assume, when you hear moms against this, moms against that women are monolithic when it comes to gun use, gun ownership? Is that a fundamental mistake there?
I think it is. Women are not, we're not single issue people, and I think, in part, we're not all moms, we're not all wives, and I think that in part pushes the need for self-defense as well. Is that even down here in Texas, there are more and more women who are on their own. And so, I certainly can tell you that in my downtown Houston apartment with my female roommate, I feel a much greater need for protecting myself than I would with a husband out in the suburbs. And so, I think that in part these women's groups who can get very single-minded, they're forgetting that it's sort of their own demographic who needs the self-defense more than others.
Protection, recreation, is it more geared towards the former than the latter?
It seems to be. That is, at least across the South, I think it starts with protection, but that really opens the door to recreation. I know many, many women and many groups who their first interest is, well, I want to be able to carry that gun or have that shotgun in the house to protect myself. But then once they become familiar with the firearm and lose some of the fear surrounding guns, all of a sudden you realize that it's a great sporting activity. And so I think that's really the doorway.
And if you have trouble with the action on it, maybe the wrist isn't as strong, there's always a revolver, right?
Yes, men say that quite a bit. I am a huge proponent that women should carry semi-autos.
I hear what you're saying, but my own wife has trouble with it's just I don't know, and sometimes but that's another subject for another time. Emily Taylor, gun law expert, attorney with Texas Law Shield, and she represents defendants in Second Amendment cases. Appreciate you being with us here today. I got to think that you think it's okay for Valentine's Day too. You can go to the range, right?
Oh, if my boyfriend's listening, yes, absolutely.
If your boyfriend's listening, she also wants some more presents too. So it's all good. Emily, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, more coming up. Morning Wake Up.